This is the Daily Roundup on the eArts Cambodia channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Making headlines tonight. Widespread groans in Phnom Penh as the nearly 6-month suspension of high-risk businesses is extended for another 2 weeks. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, with a restart of international tourism penciled in for November. And a very lucky escape for those in a military chopper in Mexico, with a pilot just managing to avoid power lines during a crash landing. There's been a collective groan from the owners of high-risk businesses in Phnom Penh. The capital administration announced on Wednesday evening that their almost 6-month suspension will continue for at least another 2 weeks. Together with the ban on alcohol sales and gatherings of more than 15 people, the restrictions have been extended through Wednesday, the 9th of September. It is the capital's number of Delta cases that are keeping officials from lifting the restrictions. Phnom Penh still has the highest number of Delta cases in the country. As of Tuesday, according to the Ministry of Health, 375 Delta variant cases had been detected. Phnom Penh is followed by Banteay Meanchey with a total Delta case number of 230. It has declared 2 new red zones this week in an effort to contain the variant. On Thursday morning, Banteay Meanchey Provincial Governor Umri Trai distributed relief aid to residents in Serey-Sapon City's Pong village. Over 300 families were given packs of food. The governor has encouraged the affected residents to take care of their health during their 21-day lockdown. He says they must contact authorities if they experience any food shortages at all over the next 3 weeks. The Ministry of Tourism has confirmed that it is working towards a reopening of borders to international tourists in the last quarter of this year. A specific date has not been set, but talks have been held with the tourism sector about a possible restart of tourism around November. Hotels in the kingdom are champing at the bit to welcome back much-needed tourists. 2 of the capital's leading hotels spoke to EAC news reporter Reo Soko.
Hotels have said they've always been ready to welcome international tourists back, with occupancy rates having been hit hard by the pandemic for over 18 months. But Cambodia is on its way to reissuing tourist visas later this year. Ministry of Tourism spokesperson Top Supiak told EAC News that the preparation of the country's reopening is underway, although an exact date has not been set. The city's newest 5-star hotel, Hyatt Regency Phnom Penh, has been playing an active part in coordination of the reopening roadmap between the government and industry players. General Manager Herman Kemp says while no specific month has been confirmed, there is a strong indication that it will be November. He says one of the things being looked at is allowing fully vaccinated travelers in with a shorter quarantine period, and that the hotel is standing by.
Well, I think we never stopped preparing, right? I think the team is ready to go, and I think that's not only for us, that's actually for the whole industry, right? All of us are very, very excited that there's light at the end of the tunnel now. So hopefully that things do get the green light soon. And if that happens, I think not only us, but a lot of the other hotels around and the restaurants around will be gearing up and ready to go. As long as we have our hygiene measures in place, which we do, as long as we follow the government mandates, we can make sure that we have a safe environment, and then we will be ready to go.
Across the capital, at the iconic Raffles Hotel Le Royal, management has also expressed its excitement about an approaching reopening. Hotel manager Dennis de Groot says they have been prepared all the time, having recently been added to the list of approved hotels for alternate state quarantine.
Very prepared. Of course, Accor, Raffles falls under the Accor umbrella, have successfully launched the All Safe program, which follows a stringent set of protocols and guidelines on sanitary for guests and both staff to follow, 16 fundamentals as well as the 3 touch points, which then get broken down into staff, guest, front and back of house areas. So very well prepared. The advantage we have here is that we're not one long building. It's very spread out, or sparsely spread out. We have different wings, So it's airy, a lot of balconies, unique selling points as well. Sanitization, masks, vaccination drive. That's where the kingdom has been so good as well. Contactless check-in and check-out. So definitely a lot of policies and procedures, protocols that hotels have followed, both international as well as local, readying for tourism by the end of this year.
Both Hyatt and Raffles say their reservation books are open and waiting for international tourists excited to visit the Kingdom of Wonder.
Last quarter of 2021, Cambodia is eyeing a big welcome back to international tourists. It may or may not happen in November, but one thing is for sure. Hotels in the capital are ready for it. Rhea Soko, EAC News, Phnom Penh.
An almost 4-week trend of COVID-19 recoveries outpacing new cases has come to an end. For the first time this month, the kingdom's new cases are higher than the number of patients who have been discharged in the past 24 hours. On Thursday morning, the Health Ministry reported 423 new COVID-19 cases compared to just 291 patient recoveries. This means the number of active cases in the kingdom has ticked up slightly to 2,117. The daily death toll, though, is at 6. It has not been that low since the 4th of June. The latest numbers take the country's total case count to 90,958. The death toll stands at 1,841. The number of patients treated successfully is now at 86,993. US Vice President Kamala Harris has launched a new US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention office in Southeast Asia. It will be headquartered in Hanoi, Vietnam, and will support operations and activities in 11 countries, including Cambodia. It was while in Vietnam that Harris made the announcement regarding the CDC's new regional office. She says the center has had long-standing relations with Southeast Asia through ASEAN, strengthening public health laboratories, emergency operations centers, and health surveillance systems through offices across the region. The CDC Cambodia office is now part of the US Embassy in Phnom Penh. Its director is Dr. Rachel Albalak. Its first priority will be to ensure that the US continues to assist the royal government in its fight against the pandemic, seen most recently in the delivery of over 1 million doses of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine as part of the COVAX initiative. Over 40 Cambodians with disabilities have received training in digital literacy. The training was funded by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, as well as US-based Development Alternatives. It was organized by the Agile Development Group in partnership with Cambodia's Disability Action Council. Its Secretary General, Chanem Makara, says the training equips people with disabilities with the skills and confidence they need to work in the digital sector. EAC News reporter Rhea Soko has the story.
Despite the COVID-19 situation in Cambodia, government and other sectors have made sure that people with disabilities continue to receive attention with the motto, "No one should be left behind." On Thursday, 41 people with disabilities received their certificates in digital literacy. Secretary General of the Disability Action Council, Chan M. Makara, highlighted just how important this training has been.
អក្ខរកម្ម digital ថ្ងៃនេះក៏អាចចូលរួមជាមួយផ្នែកនៅក្នុង
Having the skills and confidence to participate in digital systems is very important for people with disabilities, especially women. I would like to encourage civil society, development partners, self-help groups, as well as all national and international NGOs to continue to cooperate more constructively to discuss and find solutions to challenges. Progress and sustainability of the disability sector, in particular, increasing the skills of people with disabilities when it comes to digital systems and the creation of decent employment opportunities, are needed in order to achieve the long-term development goals of the royal government of Cambodia.
រៀបចំវេទិកា
USAID Representative Adriana Harvey says the skills, knowledge, and experience gained from the training will help people with disabilities succeed in a digitalized world. She says she hopes that the training will be a start for these people to pursue their dreams. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
Well, now for a look at news making headlines around the globe this Thursday, the 26th of August. While its vehicles patrol the streets of Kabul, the Taliban says it has launched talks on the formation of a new government. It has promised an inclusive Islamic government that will be representative of the entire country. It has apparently already held talks with one former enemy, former President Hamid Karzai. Residents of Kabul say all they want is peace after decades of invasion and civil war. They also want the Taliban to stick to its promises of respecting women's rights to work and girls' rights to an education. But for many others, there's just no thought of returning to life under the Taliban. Crowds of desperate people continue to gather outside Kabul's main airport in the hopes of evacuation. Many are standing in knee-deep water, full of garbage and near barbed wire as US troops push them back. These are the Afghans who managed to fight their way past the Taliban, which is trying to send Afghans back home, saying they have nothing to fear. It says evacuation flights will end next Tuesday and there'll be no extension to that deadline. At least 36 people have been shot dead by gunmen during a night raid on a village near the central Nigerian city of Jos. The gunmen apparently went house to house, killing residents in Yelwa Zangam late on Tuesday. Nigerian troops couldn't reach the area to protect residents because a bridge had been destroyed. Jos is the capital of Plateau State, which has seen regular fighting between the Hausa Fulani group, who dominate the whole of northern Nigeria, and a number of smaller local ethnic groups. The whole country has seen an upsurge of violence this year, with poverty intensifying competition for resources, jobs, and political power. And amazingly, no one was killed when a Mexican Navy helicopter made a crash landing on Wednesday. Seconds before, it had reported mechanical failure as it attempted to reach an area affected by Hurricane Grace. The pilot somehow managed to avoid power lines as he brought the chopper down. 3 injured passengers were rushed to a nearby hospital, but are in a stable condition. Stay with the Daily Roundup, your sports news coming up after the break. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArts Cambodia Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels: YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. World football governing body FIFA is set to receive $201 million in compensation for losses sustained in global corruption schemes. The announcement has been made by the United States Department of Justice. The money was seized from the bank accounts of former officials who were involved in a number of schemes following a probe into years of corruption within the world of football. The probe was launched back in 2015, and more than 50 defendants have been criminally charged. Most of them were either senior soccer officials or sports marketing executives, taking bribes for arranging tournaments, venues, and broadcasts. The funds will go into a new World Football Remission Fund to help finance football-related development projects across the globe. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has welcomed the news.
This is a great victory for FIFA and a great victory for football. I want to sincerely thank the US justice authorities for their efforts in this respect, for their fast and effective approach in bringing these matters to a conclusion, and also for their trust generally. The truth is that, thanks to their intervention back in 2015, we have been able to fundamentally change FIFA from a toxic organization at that time to a highly esteemed and trusted global sports governing body.
The US Department of Justice says its work is not finished and that dozens of other investigations into kickbacks and bribes continue. Paris Saint-Germain has rejected Real Madrid's offer for France forward Kylian Mbappe. It appears to be a simple matter of the offer being too low. It was almost $188 million, but then PSG did pay $200 million to acquire him. It was widely thought that PSG would have been happy to sell Mbappe, with it just having forked out millions for Lionel Messi, and the fact that Mbappe actually wants to move to Spain. But Real's initial offer tabled on Sunday was labelled as a first move. PSG coach Mauricio Pochettino, seen here talking with Mbappe, and Mauricio Icardi will be reluctant to see Mbappe go if Real ups its offer. He's under a lot of pressure to get some silverware this season, and obviously sees Mbappe and Messi as being the keys to unlocking the cabinet. PSG ended last season with only one major trophy, the French Cup, after losing the league title by just 1 point to Lille. Max Verstappen is keen to put on a show for his army of orange-clad fans when he heads into Sunday's Belgian Grand Prix. He's ready to strike back at his Formula One title battle with 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. The Red Bull driver had a 33-point lead over his Mercedes rival, but that turned into an 8-point deficit in just 2 races. There was a controversial race-ending collision with Hamilton at the British Grand Prix, and then a 9th-place finish in Hungary. A win on the Spa-Francorchamps circuit is just what Verstappen needs to get his championship challenge back on track. He's won 5 races this season to Hamilton's 4. The checkered flag would also be a fitting way to celebrate Red Bull's 50th race with engine supplier Honda. But Belgium isn't exactly Verstappen's stomping ground. The 23-year-old has twice retired from the Belgian race and has never finished higher than 3rd. But it's always something of a home game, with Verstappen having been born in Belgium to a Belgian mother.
I mean, for me, Spa already before I was into F1, it was my favorite track. And of course, even going to other tracks, it's still my favorite. And then of course, it's of course kind of a home Grand Prix, being half Belgian, half Dutch. So I always enjoy going there. And then of course now it's Zandvoort back on the calendar. That's the other half where a lot of Dutch people will come. And it's of course the two tracks are very close to each other. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Organisers have capped capacity at 75,000 fans per day due to COVID-19. Attendance is limited to citizens of Europe and the United Kingdom. The weekend's almost here. Let's see how the weather's starting to shape up. And finally, is there anything cuter than a lion cub? Well, a Mexican zoo is welcoming the arrival of 3 of them. The 3 little siblings were born on Friday the 13th of August, but it was a lucky day with this zoo's lion enclosure seeing something of a baby boom. The 2 females and 1 male are all in good health, but they have been separated from their mother for the next few weeks after she failed to produce milk. They'll be under constant surveillance for the next few months of their lives and have to be bottle fed every 3 hours. But zoo staff say it's the best job in the world. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the eArts Cambodia channel. More breaking news and updates from our website, head to www.e-artscambodia.com. You can also search for EAC News on Telegram and at your favorite app store. Friday tomorrow. I'll see you at 8. This is the Daily Roundup on the eArts Cambodia channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Making headlines tonight. Widespread groans in Phnom Penh as the nearly 6-month suspension of high-risk businesses is extended for another 2 weeks.